This is Officer Keith Connor,
Not acceptable. People, my life is worth more than that piece of plastic.
and he deals with more Karens than most people ever will. Officer Connor is part of a squad in Columbus, Ohio that specifically targets people who text and drive. An unenviable job that brought him in contact with our first Karen, a woman named Elena. Elena was given a citation for texting while driving in order to pay a fine of $150. In September 2023, he pulled over another woman for the same offense on the exact same street. The only difference was that this Karen was somehow even more entitled. Texting while driving might seem like an innocuous offense, but between 2019 and 2020, more than 1,000 people were killed as a result of it. To make matters worse, this Karen had a child with her. You can probably already tell how this traffic stop went. As expected, she showed absolutely no remorse for her actions and refused to cooperate with the officer throughout the entire stop. Despite her confident claims, voice-to-text wasn't going to save her from a charge of texting while driving. Of course, neither was antagonizing Officer Connor. Despite receiving a citation and a warning about the safety of her child, witnesses spotted her texting just minutes after the officer left.
Guys.
She can challenge the citation in court or pay a fine of $150. The video you just saw of 62-year-old Terry Ann Blues gathered over 1 million views on Twitter. On the 25th of May, 2021, Blues was denied access to her flight at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport and allegedly pushed to the ground when she tried to force her way through the jet bridge door. This was the moment that went viral on the internet, earning Blues the nickname Boohoo Karen. To control the situation, the officers isolated her from other passengers, but that did not calm her down. Before Blues was allegedly chokeholded to the ground, she was denied boarding because she appeared intoxicated. That's when she tried to force her way onto the plane and was stopped by a passenger. Since the officers couldn't get her to calm down, they decided to get more information from the airport staff. As the staff gave a rundown on events, Blues could be heard yelling in the background. She wanted the officer to talk with her alleged assaulter. The conversation didn't go as Blues had hoped, and now the officers had all the information they needed to arrest her. In the police report, the officers indicated that she was sweating profusely, had red, bloodshot, glassy eyes, and was breathing heavily, symptoms associated with heavy intoxication. A search of Blues's belongings uncovered 2 green bottles packed with marijuana, a container full of Xanax pills, and a small black pouch containing a glass pipe. Although these items were legal in her hometown of Washington, the state of Texas saw things differently. For as long as she could, Blues actively resisted arrest, worsening the charges against her. Once in the patrol car, her tirade would take a different dimension. Terry Ann Blues was arrested for public intoxication, resisting arrest, search, or transport, a marijuana possession offense, and a dangerous drug offense. She could face fines of up to $8,500 and spend 2 years in jail if found guilty. Still, at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, officers had to deal with a Karen who had no problem assaulting police officers. On the 8th of January, 2023, officers responded to reports of a woman who had been kicked off her flight because she was yelling, screaming, and spitting at attendants. The woman in question was 30-year-old Karina. The officers arrived just in time to catch her hastily rushing into the ladies' room. According to the police report, Karina had been denied boarding because she was inebriated, causing her to react violently. She remained in the stall for some time, frustrating the officers trying to coax her out. As they spoke, the officer noted that Karina's speech was slurred and incoherent, indicating that she was in fact intoxicated. That observation, coupled with reports from witnesses, were all the officers needed to arrest her. Karina was handcuffed without much resistance. However, she only became more agitated as they led her outside the airport. Her demands were clear. She did not want a man touching her. Karina got what she wanted and was eventually escorted out by the female officers instead. She was charged with resisting arrest without violence, assaulting a public servant, and public intoxication. If found guilty, she could spend up to 10 years in prison and pay fines of up to $14,500. Our next case takes us back to Ohio, where a homeowner had too many drinks and made himself everyone's problem. On the 15th of April, 2023, officers responded to reports of a resident yelling inappropriate slurs at people. The man was Jeffrey Holmes. When the officers arrived at the scene, they found Holmes on his property, intoxicated and hostile. Despite his bold claims, Holmes was wrong. In Ohio, the disorderly conduct statute limits freedom of expression when the behavior alarms, annoys, or threatens public order, and that's exactly what he was doing. But of course, Holmes only doubled down on his rights. Holmes had no problem admitting exactly what he was doing to the officers. They decided to speak with his neighbors before making any arrests. According to witnesses, Holmes had a habit of causing a nuisance and had been going at it all day. Following their investigations, the officers decided to arrest him for disorderly conduct. But of course, he wasn't going to make it easy. Jeffrey Holmes was charged with disorderly conduct while under the influence and will pay a fine of $150 if found guilty.